welcome to Fall Ritual Haunted Attraction Video Reviews 2020. Today, I'm going to talk about Farm of Horrors in Flemington, New Jersey. This place has 4 attractions. It's $35 to $40 depending on which night you go. You can buy tickets online or at the ticket booth. It didn't seem like they were doing any type of limited tickets. So I would suggest just buying them at the ticket booth and avoiding the online fees. They do have a VIP upgrade. I believe that's $15 extra. It is worth it to avoid the crazy long lines, but is not worth it for the overall price of the attraction. So if you want to just avoid lines, it's worth it, but it's not worth spending the extra money on the actual attraction. As far as the COVID guidelines go with this place, they were enforcing face masks. Social distancing wasn't the best in the queue line, but they were limiting people on the hayride. They did have some hand sanitizer throughout the areas. And on their website, it says they were checking guest temperatures, but they weren't the night we were out there. I first want to address the waiting area. This was definitely like a good 2.5 hour wait to get in. And I think the main reason why is there's no midway area, so like people can't just branch out. You are forced to do the hayride first. Again, not a problem because I've seen other haunts do that where you have to do like a hayride first and then do the other attractions. I don't know why it would get so backed up like this, other than the fact that they weren't limiting tickets, and at one point the hayride drops you off, and then you go back on a hayride. I've noticed that other haunts that do that have really long lines, because now you're just waiting for that wagon to come back. So that's probably why these lines are really long. To avoid those lines, though, I do recommend the VIP, but again, it's not worth the price of the ticket for the attraction for what you're getting. The only reason it's going to benefit you is to avoid that crazy long line. Like I said, there is no like midway area, and you're really just standing in line. There was like a DJ playing music, but it was just kind of like club music. It wasn't any Halloween type themed music going on. You don't get to the, when you get on the hayride, they are social distancing you on the hayride. The hayride wasn't all that good. There was maybe about 6 scenes, very few actors. The actors that were there were just not really into it. The props weren't that great. It just wasn't a well put together hayride. After you go through that, they drop you off at the trail. The trail did have some better scenes, some decent scenes. At the end, there was a really good graveyard scene with a lot of lights and fog. A couple actors in there that were a little better than the hayride. But other than that, and going back to the hayride, there were a lot of just dead areas where just nothing was happening, which you hardly noticed because the driver was going so fast, go from scene to scene. Which again, I never seen a tractor go that fast. It was kind of crazy how fast they can go with like a wagon full of people. But after the trail, after you do that trail, you're going to get back on the hayride, where you're going to see about maybe two more scenes, maybe 3. Again, not many actors. No one was really into it. Most were just wearing like regular clothes with just face paint or a mask. After the hayride, you're gonna go to the maze, the corn maze. It's not an actual maze, it's just another trail, a very dark trail. It was very, very dark. You're like just in the middle of a cornfield. Not much to see. Um, very, very, very few actors. I would say maybe 4 to 5 total actors in that whole thing. Scenes weren't that great. Again, just no one into it. No one there was really into the character, or the actors weren't really giving it their all. Which is a shame, because on the website it says peak times, I mean, this is like mid-October, so you think like these actors would really be into it, but it just wasn't. After the maze, you're gonna go to the last attraction. It's called like Carnival of Chaos. It was like a toxic waste type scene. Again, very few actors in there. I would say maybe 3 or 4. No one really seemed to bother. Um, that last attraction, I would say at most took about 2 minutes to walk through. I remember saying at the end, I was like, that's it. The fact that they passed that off as an additional attraction, I think is a little bit ridiculous. It was just kind of like the last scene of the maze. It just wasn't very good all around. And then I said, like, not many scenes. The scenes weren't that great. The actors weren't that great. Um, it the whole thing just seemed to me like it was a haunt put together by middle school and high school kids for middle school and high school kids. It's not a scary place. It's not anything. You're not going to go there and have your mind blown by animatronics or props or great actors. It's just, it's not. It's just not that place. At the end, they do have a little gift shop. The gift shop was selling, produce, pumpkins, little jars of jam and jelly, stuff like that. Then they did have a couple food trucks with like a seating area. Um, and that was it. I would say the whole thing, after that 2.5 hour wait, took maybe about 40 minutes total. And that was with like waiting around to get on the hayride after the trail, and back on the hayride, off the hayride, through the maze, everything. It wasn't a very long haunt for the amount of waiting you're going to do. I wouldn't recommend it. The only way I would recommend it is if you're really looking for something to do and you live within about a 30-minute distance from it. If you're driving any further than 30 minutes, it's not going to be worth it. There's other ones that you can find. But Farm Horrors, it was good. I got to check it out. I mean, not all of them are going to be great. Sadly, this one was not. It fell short on many levels. But if you're looking for something to do, and it's not far away, I would say check it out, I guess. But it's definitely not worth the price that you're going to pay. $40 is a lot for that particular haunt. But thank you for watching. Thank you for all the subscribers. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Fall Ritual. Thank you.